And welcome back to our latest edition of Woodsy's Club Tour. I've got a really special guest today, Big Jai Arrow, who's had a pretty good off-season so far. Mate, how you travelling?
No, yeah, recovering still from the States. Just got back the other week, last week or so. So I've had a good time, but it's good to be home, refreshed, and ready to go for pre-season, which is around the corner. Which is torture.
Comes by so quick, mate.
Yeah, no.
So where'd you go? Where'd you go in the States?
So I had a wedding in Vegas.
Yep.
Was there for a couple of days. Then it was a bit of a recovery session in LA, and then to Austin. Went to the F1.
Oh, how was that?
Yeah, one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. So my mate that I went with knew this fella who then knew another fella. So it's all about who you know, what you know.
Exactly.
And he was had his own racing team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And legit, mate, I can't even explain what was going on. Like sitting at turn one in this cabana, watching the cars. How
was that?
Yeah, unbelievable experience, and I'll never forget it.
Did you check out any venues in LA for next year, mate? Come February, March, around
Vegas, I did.
Oh, how was that?
Yeah.
Did you go to the new stadium?
Nah. So I didn't get to do any of that. I wasn't there for that long.
Yep.
I did go to Vegas.
Well, can I say, is Vegas going to welcome Jai Arrow back?
Oh, I'd like to think so. There's too many people there, so hopefully they do, mate. That's a good question. I did run amok, I will say that, but I was as calm.
Well, you're only human.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it was all about, when I had to go check it out for the club.
You got to know, the spots to go to.
Yeah.
The facilities to use.
Tell the club boys,
establishments.
Yeah. Which facilities, which gyms are the best ones on the strip. So it was a business trip. Yeah, it was a business trip, Woodsy.
That's all right, mate. So first thing we normally go into is how we met. Do you actually remember how we met, mate?
Yes, I do. One of the all-time greatest experiences as well, and I don't think wouldn't be. You won't do it again?
I'll never do it ever again.
Yeah, I don't think I will either.
It was.
So I was in trouble. You were just
had a baby.
Yeah, just had a baby. So we came up a day late before the hub and rock up to us at Bankstown Airport.
Yep.
And we walk out into the tarmac onto a luxury private jet together.
Unbelievable.
Mate. And some.
So you've gone from the shithouse to the penthouse.
Proper. Mate, absolute proper. I honestly, walking onto that plane, I thought, what are we doing here, honestly? Two big, dumb front row of footballers hopping onto this luxury private jet together.
We're stressing that we're going to make up into the COVID bubble, and then our good mate Peter V'landys looks after us.
Yeah, proper. Grateful. Thank you.
And then the other thing is, mate, what about when we got in it was like 4 seats in that plane. You're in the cockpit.
Yeah, taken off.
Mate, I've never been so scared in my life.
Because I was asking, mate, how does this work, mate? Like, where's all the gadgets? Because there's so many buttons and stuff in the cockpit. I was going, how does this bloke fly this? And he literally said, mate, if I wanted to, I could flick a button and it'd literally fly itself to the Gold Coast, and that's it. It'd land itself, but because, what do you say? Because he wants to keep his skills up,
he loves it.
He physically flies the plane.
Do you remember when he turns around and he says, hey, Woodsy, mate, can you pass me a bag of chips? And my head's almost full because I hate flying at the best of time. I go, hey, mate, turn around, fly the plane. And he goes, mate, don't worry. He goes, it's on whatever mode it was. What I can't remember. Cruise control.
Cruise mode. What is it? Air pilot.
Yeah, air pilot. And then he's like, mate, you watch. We've got to turn soon. And it's just going to, the joystick will just turn. I'm like, what's going on here?
But yeah, very different and really cool experience that for sure.
Oh, mate, I'll never do it ever again.
No.
I think I thanked you a couple of times because I think it was your fine that paid for it.
Yeah, I reckon. Remember we asked him, how much do one of these tickets cost? And he literally said, it probably costs 30, 35 grand. I said, you wouldn't believe it.
Thank you, Jai. Thank you, Peter. So in 2014, you re-signed with the Broncos for 3 years.
Yep.
And then so obviously you just spoke about 15, going into your first preseason. How was that doing the preseason training with the first grade? Because the players you mentioned, mate, they're absolutely they're not just good blokes, but they train that hard and they play hard.
Yeah, it definitely was an eye-opener for sure. Especially being I was 20, turning 21 at the time, coming into a side that had just made the grand final, had lost. So they're high quality professionals, players. You know, they're at there. They were, you know, potentially at the top at the time. So coming in, it was definitely nerve-wracking and but exciting at the same time. I'm coming into something that I want to be able to do as a kid, and I'm living my dream at the moment. So I just had to sort of take it all in, I guess, and learn off the older players. And I had some really good mentors there. That whole pack were unbelievable. Like with the young kids and that.
Was there anyone that you gravitated to more?
Not really.
No,
I wouldn't say that. I love to. Growing up, I was a massive footy head, so I love to just sit back and look and observe and just listen to what they had to say and try and mimic things that I thought could help me with my game. So it was nerve-wracking, but then again, it was one of the best experiences I've had as a player, being able to come into a side that's coached by Wayne Bennett as well. So,
and so is that the first time you've actually been coached by Wayne?
Yeah, 2016.
So what was your first impressions with him? Because, mate, I've never done anything with him, but he looks like a bloke that doesn't do too much. But then when you speak to players that have been coached by him, they just love him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you're a young kid coming through, he does sort of not standoffish, but you got to. I reckon back then it was more you had to earn your stripes kind of thing.
Best way to be.
He was always good with the young boys, and but just little things like forgetting their names or.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, I reckon he did. I know for a fact he did it on purpose.
So what did he call you? Or did
I think one time I got Jay. So it's not far off, but I got Jay.
I would have just walked around, mate. At least he knows who I am.
The best name I've heard. Was when I was at South and Tane Milne.
Yeah, Tane Milne, yeah.
And he's like, I don't know how to say your name. Your name's Billy from now on. So he started calling him Billy from then on. So little things like that, forgetting, I reckon on purpose, forgetting people's names.
Yeah.
Walking into the shower nude. I reckon that was another thing he used to stir the young boys up with.
Well, he did it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, there's not many guys that do it.
Mate, now.
They all shower with undies.
Absolutely. Now it's I'm judging boys if they don't get their jocks off
I'm the same.
anymore.
I'm with you. It's disgraceful. I'll tell you a quick story about Manly. So at Manly, we had the cubicles with the doors. So you'd know Morgan Boyle.
Yeah, Boyley.
Goes to the back of his ute.
So you and your Petiguana at practice.
Yeah, oh, mate. Gets his tools out. Takes the hinges off the doors so no one can hide now.
That's unbelievable.
Oh, mate. Because the kids are they're different. They're so different this day and age, Jai, mate.
Do you reckon? So entitled. So.
Mate, my first day at Tigers, you had to get your jocks off and Chris Heineken had to do something for you. So I couldn't really go through what we did, but yeah.
Well,
something inspection.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in 2016, round 10 comes by. Your debut.
Yeah.
How did you find out? And did you think you were getting closer to playing?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Mate, not at all.
So it was just out of the blue?
It was out of the blue.
Yep.
So leading up to then, I was playing at Norse. We were going no good.
Oh, okay.
But I was playing in the middle. I was playing pretty much 80 every week.
Yep.
I was busting my ass kind of thing. And not saying that everyone else wasn't.
Oh, yeah,
but,
I know what you mean.
I was playing in the middle, playing 80 in the middle.
In an unsuccessful side.
Yeah, can be a tough gig sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And had no expectations that year to play first grade whatsoever.
So, but it was a goal, surely.
Oh, absolutely.
But you just didn't think you were going to get there.
No way. Yep. Not with the side we had. And then
good side.
Few injuries arose, and I remember sitting in the car and I was scrolling through Insta, and I saw my face on it. It was ins and outs on the Broncos Instagram. I was like, can I swear on here?
Yeah, you can. They'll beep it out.
I was like, what the fuck is this? And as soon as I saw it, I got a phone call from the manager at the time, Scotty Sislowski, and he said, hey, mate, have you seen the team? And I was like, nah. And at first I thought, I'm 18th man or something like that and whatnot. And he goes, you'll be playing this week? And I was like, what?
Really? So
no expectations. The next day, I've gone into training. Wayne hasn't told me I'm playing yet. Like, I haven't found out.
So you're just training with the boys just because you're full-time?
No. Yeah. And I've gone into training and I have had no idea. Wayne hasn't come and seen me. Nothing. And I'm going, are they G me up here? Like, is
this a piss take?
Is this a piss take? No word of a lie.
Wow.
And I just sat there, and eventually, I think it was Steve Kearney, the assistant coach at the time. He goes, "Hey mate, come to the meeting." I was like, "Oh, all right, sweet. Thank God someone's told me."
So there is a bit of hope.
Yeah, walk into the meeting and started saying all these things. And then at the end, Wayne goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell yous. Jai will be making his debut this week." I was going to give him a phone call yesterday, but I thought, fuck it, I thought I'd let him find out for himself.
Oh, thanks, Wayne.
Yeah, so I just went, oh, sweet, oh, this is unbelievable.
Wow.
Because when I saw the ins and outs and got told that I was playing, I hadn't called my mum and dad or anyone to tell them that I was playing, because I was so unsure.
Yeah.
I was so unsure that I was playing.
Yeah.
And then when Wayne told me I was playing, I got to make the phone calls and do all that. But yeah, very different experience with the way that these days you see boys get brought into the film, brought into the coach's office. I actually don't think it could have been told to me in any better way.
That's probably
by Wayne.
And then leading so you've played 12 games?
Yeah.
When did you sign with Gold Coast? Did you sign with it in the preseason?
Nah, so 2017. When did I sign with it?
Or was it halfway through the year?
Yeah, I can't exactly remember and pinpoint. Too many head knocks.
Was that a tough decision to make?
Yeah, I think because
being in the Brisbane system since you were 12.
Yeah, been in the Brisbane system since I was 12.
Yeah.
The boys that I was playing with, the coach that I was being coached by, it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. And I'm a 21-year-old shitting myself, having to go into Wayne's office to tell him, "Hey, mate, I'm signing with another club." That was daunting, but he made it so easy for me. He made it so easy for me. I walked in and he said, "Mate, I understand.
Yep.
I feel as though you've got to go and..."
Well, you're stuck behind a few forwards.
Well, absolutely. I was stuck behind a bunch.
Yeah, and they play for Australia or Queensland.
Yeah. So he made it so easy for me and just said to me, "I want you to go there and basically cement a spot, play good footy," and he goes, "One day I'll get you back." And it's funny how time goes on.
2 years later he signed there, was that right?
South 21 it would have been.
21,
so
a
it would
couple
have been
of years later,
3 years later. So pretty daunting time, but pretty cool.
To go back to the coast?
It was just exciting that I hadn't had anything, told to me, basically saying, you're going to be starting every week, you're going to be this. But, I'd been told, mate, if you come down here, have a good preseason, you're every chance to, cement and spot in this NRL side and potentially a starting spot kind of thing.
Yeah, yep.
So I went down and it's not that I didn't expect anything, but I knew I had to bust my ass to, I suppose, prove myself through the preseason to be able to get an opportunity to play NRL.
And who was the coach at the Gold Coast? Was that Neil
Breno?
Breno or Garth Brennan? That's right.
So Neil Henry was.
Yep.
And then all that crap happened.
Then Garth Brennan.
Yep. And
so when you signed with the Goldie, did you sign under Neil Henry?
Yes.
So how was the feeling in your headspace when you, obviously the bloke you signed under's gone, and then
that's who I remember thinking back. You know what? The only one that can control the outcome is myself.
Yep.
And I'm someone who, if someone tells me something, then that's great. But it's more on me to have the outcome kind of thing.
Yep.
So I just went, stuff it. I'm going anyway. Like, I'm not backflipping. I'm going home.
Yep.
I know for a fact that I'm more of a chance down there to cement a starting spot or a spot than I am up here.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm just going to do it. So I went down there. Thought I had a pretty good preseason. Ended up starting in the front row, round one. So it was pretty surreal going from that sort of role player up in Brisbane to starting. And
it was like a full circle moment coming back to the Gold Coast. Like, how was the feeling being back around family? Because you're an hour up the road, obviously, in Brisbane. But then were you back home or were you still living out?
So I came back home for a little bit with Mum until I found a joint.
Yep.
I don't know. See, I'm not someone who gets homesick, so it wasn't going to bother me either. In any way.
Yep.
But I remember that year just flew by.
Yeah.
It went from I was in Brisbane for the 2 years,
Yep.
playing off the bench for bloody pretty much majority of the games to mate, halfway through the year in 2018 playing Origin.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You made your debut that year.
Yeah.
3 games.
Yeah. That hit me probably more than making my NRL debut, because I'd trained in the NRL, things like that, and with them every day.
It's a lot different, isn't it?
Yeah, but then when you get the call for Origin, I just...
And who was behind that call?
So Kevy.
Oh, mad.
Kevy Walters.
And you'd worked with him at Broncos, or was he not
yes,
there?
Yes, a little bit.
Yep.
He wasn't really there, but, obviously he's a legend of the club and he was around kind of thing.
Yep.
So when he called me, I broke down in tears. Like, I was just like, what is going on? This is like literally just gone from 0 to 100 kind of thing. And then I think the most surreal thing, I remember walking into camp at Sanctuary Cove, and I walked through the doors of the team room, whatever, and I saw GI and Billy Slater, and I just went...
And you're playing with these blokes.
I was thinking, what am I doing here? This is an absolute joke. That's
unbelievable, eh? How old are you at this stage?
21, turning 22.
Mate, this is every kid's dream.
Yeah, proper. And I was going to the Cauldron. Or not, like, obviously debuted. I was going to the Cauldron.
So debut was in Sydney?
No, Melbourne.
Oh, Melbourne, yep.
MCG, Sydney, and then Brisbane.
That was Freddie's first series, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they won the first 2.
Yep.
And then it was Bill's last game in Brizzy.
That was unbelievable. I remember that.
Yeah.
So remember you said about your first grade debut. You don't really remember too much from the first night. What about your Origin debut?
That was a blur too.
A blur. What about the whole series?
Yeah, I think I remember Suncorp. Yeah,
I was going to say, like, as a New South Welshman, I remember Suncorp a lot more than what I remember Stadium Australia, because
they're lunatics.
Oh, mate, that's being polite.
I couldn't imagine going there being a New South Welshman playing up there.
It's a cool experience, man.
Yeah,
like, because you're from 10 days earlier, you're at Stadium Australia, or Acre, what they call it now, and everyone's pumping you up, which is in front of 80,000. The next 10 days later, you're in front of like less crowd, 55, whatever it is. You're getting beers thrown at your head as you run out. You're getting blokes spit on you.
And that sums them up, eh?
And it's exactly like we love playing up there. Like
it's unbelievable. It actually is. It's such a surreal experience where I more remember the Suncorp games than I have, say, the ANZ one or the MCG one.
Yep.
And
what a night to be involved in. Like, that's your first win, and it's Billy Slater's last ever game for Origin.
Yeah, it's hectic. It's mad. It's mad.
It's madness, isn't it? Yeah. What else can you say about that?
Yeah, there's not much. It's pretty. Yeah, it's weird to think about.
Oh, mate.
As a young kid growing up, watching that bloke play from a young kid, how good he was.
I used to hate him, mate. That kick when I was younger.
The chip.
Oh, mate. One of the best Origin single tries you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Had to be a bloody Queenslander.
Yeah, well.
So at the end of that year, right, you say we're sitting here, sitting down, right? You've made the transition, so obviously the move from Brisbane to Gold Coast, you played Origin. Are you thinking, well, this move hasn't turned out to be too bad in the end?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was thinking, geez, this is the best move I've ever made for my career.
Yeah.
We were going no good.
Yeah.
And we weren't winning footy games, but individually, which sounds a bit selfish, it just sort of boomed.
Yep.
And I couldn't have asked for much more, and obviously very grateful for the opportunity both Wayne and Breno had given me. But yeah, it was definitely the moment that sort of changed my career.
So you have a good start at Souths. You play 2 games of Queensland. You're getting a little bit of Barney.
Yeah, dramas.
How, like, when you get caught doing what you do, how's like the headspace there? Because it's obviously in Queensland. Do you feel like you let down Queensland?
Yeah, I definitely did.
Yep.
I felt like I let down my teammates as well.
Yep.
And coaching staff, and that's one thing I pride myself on.
And that was Kevy's year, or no? Greeny's year. Yep.
So that's one thing that it's one of my biggest fears is letting down my teammates and coaches, and it's one of the most challenging times I've sort of gone through. Having to be escorted from the Gold Coast, driven in a limousine it was a car. It wasn't a stretch limo, but
Yep.
it was a limousine car. Seeing that many cameras out the front
Oh,
of the thing, but we went the back way
yeah.
to having to drive from the Gold Coast all the way back to Maroubra.
So she had to drive.
Yeah, because I obviously wasn't allowed to fly.
Wow.
It's not funny, but it is now.
Yeah, mate. You look back. Oh, wow. That's
Drove me from there.
what a champion driver.
Oh, so he dropped me off at Newcastle, and another one picked me up and drove me from Newcastle.
Wow.
And then a week later, being told, pack your stuff, you're coming to the Gold Coast in a private jet.
Private jet. Jeez, the world just does a complete 180 on you, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it was tough time in my life for sure, especially, having to explain to my family, like, what's going on,
That's the
kind of
hardest
thing, and things like that. So,
well, how's the old man pull up with that one?
oh, he just called me a dickhead. Why would you do that for, you dickhead, kind of thing.
And it's funny how you say, like, you've gone from such a low, and then the back end of the South, you make the prelim. And did you beat Penrith? Did you? No.
No, so we beat Penrith week one.
Yeah, and then
to go through to the prelim.
And then you play Penrith in the GF.
Yeah, and then we played Manly in the prelim.
Yep.
And then obviously Penrith in the GF in 21.
But
so
do you remember much from that night?
None. Zilch. Yeah, knocked out first carry. Literally just come on the field. First carry in a GF, gone. Because I felt sweet.
Yep.
When it happened, obviously, I remember taking a carry, and I think I sort of went at Jerome, and he stripped the ball, and I felt the ball come out, and I was like, oh no.
Yep.
But then I just felt a huge forearm across me.
Didn't miss you.
Yeah, clipped me. And I just remember my whole head just ringing, and I just went, holy shit, did I just get knocked out? And then I remember my physio, going, Jai, get up, otherwise he's going to have to take you off. So I just quickly come to it, quickly got up, took me off, and then, mate, as soon as they took me off, I don't know if you've had it, but the blurred vision.
Yeah.
The blurred vision, and I just went, I'm gone. Like, I'm gonna have to go out there and tough it out.
Yep.
And wait for this to go, or I'm just gonna have to tell them.
Yep.
So I went back out, come in at half time, and my head was still ringing.
Like, you can sort of tell. It's like you're looking into you're there, but you're not there.
Yeah.
When you talk to someone like that, yeah.
You look up like at the scoreboard, and you're just going, what the numbers up there, kind of thing, and. The ball it's so hard. You can see the ball, but you can't really see it once it gets closer.
And then you got people wedging in. And
it's not a good feeling.
Nah.
And at half time I went off and I put a cold towel over my head. My head was ringing, and the doc come over and was like, mate, you all right? And I was like, yeah, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. And then that's when he knew.
Yeah.
He knew I wasn't right, and he ruled me out at half time. So
especially with such a big game.
Yeah, exactly. It obviously was pretty upsetting, but a couple of years ago now, and still burns, but it is what it is now. Fuck.
And then so the next year, you have a great season, 26 games. But the biggest thing for me that season was when Billy Slater rings you, you got your opportunity back. Which game was that? Was that game
2?
Game 2. So
game 2.
So game 1, were you 18th?
Yeah.
So just to be involved in that game 1, how's like?
It was a relief for sure.
Yep.
It was a massive relief.
Yep.
And I was just excited that I was able to, be given the opportunity to be able to go back into camp and see the boys again. And I remember sort of sitting down with Bill. He reiterated that, mate, look, everyone makes mistakes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just let your footy do the talking. I know it's a cliche, but and you'll earn the opportunity again. And he's a big believer on earning it.
Yep.
So yeah, I was really happy to be able to go back into that environment.
That's enormous. And then you actually get to play game 2.
Yeah.
When he gives you that call telling you're in, how are you feeling?
Yeah, excited.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'd been a fair while since I'd been back in that arena, and I can't remember how many games I'd played by then, but I'd played a few, and I felt comfortable around the team and things like that. So I was just full of excitement. I wouldn't say I was nervous. Obviously, you get nervous before the game, but through the camp and that, I wasn't nervous at all. I was just more excited, ready to go, and my main focus was to basically prepare myself mentally, physically, as best I could to do a job for my team, teammates, team.
And a lot of people are saying he's a genius coach. What makes him different to the other ones you've had, Billy Slater?
Oh, have you played with him?
I've played with Bill, yeah.
Have you seen what he's like at training when he was playing?
He's a freak, mate.
He is non-stop.
And he
the
doesn't
way he
get tired,
talks, tactically, he was so smart.
Well, I remember doing a video session for Australia, and it was literally Billy would run it all, Cooper would pop in a little bit, and Cameron was like the coach that would just, we're doing this one. But then Billy, have a little ins and outs of different opportunities.
Yeah, so I missed Cam and
Coops. Oh, okay,
Yep, so I missed them too. But
it's unbelievable, mate.
Oh, I couldn't imagine those three in the same room talking footy. I reckon you'd just be in awe of what they have to say. And I think another big thing too is no one wanted to let Bill down.
Oh, mate.
For what he's done for that state, the team, and what he's done for rugby league.
Yeah.
That was another big thing as well. But just how smart he was tactically and as a player, I've never heard a bloke talk as much as he did.
He's ridiculous, isn't he? He doesn't get tired.
But not shit chat. It was quality.
Like inside
chat.
shoulders, this, that. You need to plug. Mate, it's ridiculous. People don't understand how good of a player. Like, when all they look at is tries, but look at the tries he saved.
Yeah.
Mate, it's
absolutely.
Ridiculous. And then so you win the series his first year.
Yeah.
Like, how was that? Like, how was the emotion in the sheds after the game? Because
it was pretty cool.
Mate, Origin's the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially it being a decider at Suncorp as well. So we got to feel that the love from the crowd and it was a pretty surreal moment. It was one of the I do remember the once we won and do the lap of honour or whatever, I do remember the sheds. That was the part that I just remembered. Hey, that was
it's so good.
It's so good to just be around and
so many people in there.
Yeah. Cheering, Alfie Langer going mad, throwing 4X everywhere. It's just, it's a pretty surreal moment.
And then talk to us about next morning, because you never won to shy away from interview.
Well, I tried to.
Oh, did you?
I tried to shy away from that. So I thought, guilty, I come in, the bus was at 7. I rolled in at about 6:30. So I had half an hour to go upstairs, grab my shit. Like I'm talking as you know, 2 big suitcases.
Or your training kit.
Or your training kit, all that crap.
Yep.
I had to go up and get all that ready in half an hour and come down.
Wow.
So I've gone up and I've come down thinking I'm going to be late.
Yep.
It was like, I reckon it was like 6, it was nearly 7 o'clock.
Yeah, yep.
And I've rolled out and I'm the first one. Would you believe it or not? I'm the first one that's about to hop on a bus. And obviously there's media out the front and they've just hammered me.
Oh.
And I've gone, I literally said to them, are you Gene up? And they go, nah. And I just went, all right, took one big breath and just fire away. And then obviously
And would you have your cane toed on your head?
Yeah, cane toed hat. Mate. Swap some fella in the crowd with me shorts. Wore that around, I wore that everywhere all night.
So the whole night?
The whole night.
Oh, that's all time, mate.
I was just so happy to be a part of another winning Origin series and be back in that side.
I was about to say, did you think you'd get another opportunity after what happened?
Not at all.
Wow.
Not at all. So I was just so excited and so happy, and I was blind and rolling in at 6:30 in the morning. I don't even know why I wore it outside. Like I could have just put it in my bag, but I just thought it was fun.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to go from tonight till today wearing this hat because I was just so happy with it. The media hammered me, and obviously a fair few people have seen the interview.
But you know what? It wasn't a bad hammering, which was good. A lot of people on social media loved it. It's just showing you how raw a raw interview. It's good to see Jai be Jai.
Yeah, well, I do feel as though I am a genuine person out in the street and things like that. And that is, if I'm on the piss and that, mate, that's me. I like to have fun and I like to have a beer.
And that's what people want to see. They don't want to see I can't, 1 week at a time and all this stuff, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
You're giving the people what they want to see.
Well, yeah.
And then so the last thing we do in the interview, it's called a set of 6. So it's with any players that you've played with. I asked you 6 questions, and you just give us who you think. So the first one would be a funny one. I reckon you'd probably have a lot of people you'd like to fight, but who would you want by your side in a fight?
Oh, who would you like?
I know one bloke you wouldn't want is Jared Wallace. I seen him fight recently.
What, can I go with Nelson?
Yeah, I'll make Nelson. Yeah, good as gold.
I'll take Nelson.
Be careful of the uppercut. Hardest decision you've made?
In life or?
In life, mate, yeah.
Oh, I think like leaving the two clubs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then coming to Sydney.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah. Very.
Favourite game you've played in?
Probably the Origin 2020 decider.
Yep. Is that the worst Queensland? Yeah. Unbelievable. The most influential person in your career?
Wow. Oh, me old man.
Yeah.
I'd say growing up. Yeah.
Just always there for you, driving you everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Honest,
him and mum.
Honest feedback.
Yeah. Him and mum. Yeah. Honest feedback.
The next question, I think we spoke about, but one of your favourite celebrations?
Oh, yeah. The Origin one.
The Origin one, yeah.
Yeah,
Down at Byron.
Yeah. That was unbelievable.
And then the last one, 3 blokes you'd take on a car trip across the country.
Wow. LeBron James?
No, sorry. Guys you've played with.
Oh,
guys guys
my
you've
bad.
played with. No, that's all right.
Mate. Who's quiet? Because that's a long way.
That's a long trip, mate. Would you want someone quiet, though?
I'm taking Cody.
Yep.
Pest. But taking Cody, he's my good mate.
Yep.
90.
Yep.
He's, a good mate down here. And probably Trell Mitt because he'd play country bangers.
And you know what? Everyone would know him everywhere you go.
Yeah.
It'd be a good trip, I reckon,
Yeah.
once you stop off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you wouldn't do it in one night.
Nah.
So whenever you stay at the pubs, everyone would know him.
That's a long trip. I couldn't think of anything worse than sitting in the car with Cody Walker for that long.
Well, you've decided to do it, mate.
Yeah, well. I could reckon I could only tolerate him until he
mate.
starts pinching me on the back of the arm.
You've decided to stay with him for another 3 more years too, mate. So,
yeah, I haven't told him that yet.
And congratulations on it, mate. Thank you for doing Woodsy's Club Tour, mate. Appreciate it. And all the best in the season, Joy.
Thanks, Woodsy.
You're a legend.